You're on the LIE, it's 5:30, the traffic isn't moving, and you're questioning every life decision you've ever made to be sitting in a sea of red taillights instead of, I don't know, anywhere else. And then inevitably, someone in the car says, why the heck haven't they built a bridge to Connecticut yet? It sounds like the dream, right? Bypass the cross Bronx, skip the $80 ferry ride, just zip over to New England, whatever you want. But today, the idea is back in the news. We're talking about a $50 billion bridge proposal. Yes, $50 billion. So I have to ask you, would a bridge connecting Long Island to the mainland be the single best thing to ever happen to us, or would it be the absolute death of Long Island we know and love? Grab a coffee because we're digging into this madness. So this isn't new. This idea has been hanging over Long Island like a storm cloud since the Robert Moses days. Every few decades, when traffic gets particularly unbearable, some politician or developer digs this plan out of the archives, dusts it off, and says, hey, look, $50 billion later, and all of your problems are solved. And I get the appeal. Truly, I get it. When you're stuck at Orient Point waiting for the crosstown ferry and you're looking at your watch, doing the math on how much this trip is costing you in time and money, you pay almost anything to skip it. You want to visit family in Bridgeport or go to see the foliage in New England without the stress of the city, and the bridge feels like the obvious answer. But let's look at the reality. $50 billion, that's a staggering amount of money. To put that into perspective, that's more than some entire countries spend on infrastructure for a decade. So where does that money come from, and what are we trading for it? Here's where I get really protective over the island. Let's think about the logistics. A bridge needs to land somewhere. You can't just drop a massive multi-lane highway connector into the middle of Port Jefferson or a quiet beach downtown and expect nothing to change. Think about the access roads. You need to widen the northern state, turn quiet parkways into major trucking arteries, and build massive interchanges that would dominate the landscape. Do you want to see the northern state turned into a highway for long haul trucks bypassing New York City? Because that is exactly what a bridge does. It makes Long Island a transit corridor instead of a destination. And what about property values? Some people think, oh, it makes us more connected. Our homes will be worth more. But would you pay a premium to live in a house that's now 5 minutes away from the entrance ramp to a $50 billion bridge that brings thousands of extra commuters and trucks through your backyard every single day? I'm not so sure. To me, it feels like we'd be paying a premium to live in a construction zone. Now, I know some of you are screaming at your screens right now saying, but what about the economy? And that's a fair point. But if you're a business owner and you're a contractor who does work on both sides of the sound, if you're in logistics, the bridge is a game changer. It unlocks commerce. It makes it easier for goods to move. But at what point do we decide that that convenience for businesses isn't worth the sacrifice of our daily quality of life? Is it our quality of life worth less than a more efficient trucking route? I honestly don't know. I'm torn. I'm selfish. I want this faster route to Connecticut. But as someone who cares about the character of the towns that we call home, the idea of turning us into a glorified highway ramp for the entire Northeast just doesn't sit right with me. And what about the cost of the community itself? You know they're going to toll the heck out of this thing. It's $50 billion to build. That toll isn't going to be a bargain. Are we building this for the average Long Islander, or are we building this for the commercial interests that have been pushing it for 50 years? So I look at the southern state, I look at the LIE, and I look at the local roads that were designed for a different era, and I just don't see how we can absorb that type of traffic volume where we're already bursting at the seams. Is this bridge actually going to solve the traffic problems, or is it just going to attract more traffic until the new bridge is just as jammed as the old roads are today? Because that's usually how this works, right? Build it and they will come, and then they will clog it up. So I'm putting it to you. I really want to know, are you Team Bridge thinking it's the long overdue infrastructure upgrade that we deserve? Or are you a team keeping an island, believing that the bridge would be the start of the end of the quality of life on Long Island? Drop a comment down below. I'm reading all of them. Let's actually debate this. It's too important of a topic to ignore. And hey, look, I'm just giving you my take. I know the proposal is complicated. If you want to dig into the actual details, the legislation, the study, the actual plan that's being pushed right now, I've linked the original article in the description below. Go read it, form your opinion, and then come back here and fight it out in the comments. If you're enjoying these deep dives into what's actually happening on Long Island, make sure you hit that like button and subscribe. It really helps the channel grow and lets us keep doing these local conversations. Thanks for watching. Stay safe out there on the parkways, and I'll see you in the next one.